another question that I have for you, and this is containing credit score. People always say, well, I need a 700 or 800 credit score. With your company, what's the minimum credit score required by your company versus I understand traditional banks? They normally say I need a 640 or higher before they will extend a loan or even consider looking at the application.
That's true. I found this out myself. Getting into the mortgage industry, I started out at the big banks like, Wells Fargo and SunTrust. And after you do this for a while, you realize that there is different credit scores that are out there, and understanding that all the loans pretty much in America are backed by government money, and so there's a minimum credit score out there. It's just each organization gets to choose what they want for their particular bank. So the answer to that is 580 in general is the minimum credit score for government loans. Mm-hmm. So for a VA loan, for an FHA loan, for a USDA loan, the written government information, pretty much the standard is 580 and above. Mm-hmm. And then for a conventional loan, people will hear Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac, just a traditional non-government loan is going to be 620. The interesting thing is, and I think the interesting thing for people when they go out to look for a home, mm-hmm. like had you met me when I worked at Wells Fargo, I might have told you that the minimum credit score for an FHA loan was 620. Mm-hmm. Later on I learned that that was Wells Fargo's minimum credit score. And so as a consumer, it makes a difference what door you walk in mm-hmm. for the very same loan product. So if someone had a 610 credit score, they might be turned down for a loan, but what happens is no one says, you're not eligible for the loan with us, mm-hmm. but here's another 10 companies who'd be happy to give you the loan because they're just following the government standards.
So what you're saying is all of the banks have their own set criteria, whether they decide to loan at 580 or they decide to loan at 640 or 620.
Right. It makes sense. Just like anyone can, probably go to Walmart and get a certain brand.
So if I had a 580 credit score, mm-hmm. how would New American Funding help me with my loan? What's the requirements on getting approved at the 580 versus the bank requirement of a 620?
Well, what I'm saying is like you can walk into to two different stores and they have different criteria or different costs, mm-hmm. but the product is the same. It's the same in lending. An FHA loan, whether you're getting it from Wells Fargo, Bank of America, or New American Funding, is the same loan product.
So there's no additional requirement that's due?
Well, no. Every company can add, if they want it to, extra requirements on top of whatever the government says.
So they layer on things.
They layer on extra rules on top of it. And so even me as a loan officer, I often explain to my customers, I work for New American Funding because there's no overlays. And in my regard, if someone's successfully renting, our goal is to help them get into a home. If they're successfully paying for housing, we do want as many people to be homeowners as possible so there's not those extra layers on top.
When you say overlays, what are those? What are
An overlay can be anything from, as we just discussed, if it was an FHA loan at one company at 580 and it could be 660 at another. An overlay could be compensating factors. Instead of you might need extra reserves in the bank. The bank could tell you need to have $6,000 in your savings, mm-hmm. but that might not have been required by the government, but that company can say that. And they do it not because someone's trying to be wrong, or it's just a bank might be different. They have branches, they have different things going on, different loan products. Mortgage companies who only do mortgages, as an example, the company I work for only does mortgages. So we're only concerned with making sure that as many people can successfully navigate their mortgage, and we're not concerned with having bank branches or selling automobiles or any other financial vehicles that you might find at a traditional bank.
Once again, that's very good information from in-house lender Rita Hazel. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jamie. it.